They cut all my clothes off, and then they hooked me up on the life support.
Body cold, frosty cold, and I'm so, and I'm so, and my clothes, life for the party, always get it started, and I'm so, and I'm so.
And the life support is, for people who don't know, is when they put the tube down your throat and they have a machine breathing for you. The machine was on 100% breathing, so I wasn't breathing on my own at all. It was a machine, and for people telling me the story, said Miss Carla, like, she walked in my room and my eyes was like blood. My eyes was just fixed, like, on the ceiling. Like, it looked like I wasn't there. And then she was like, what she said? She said something like, I was like about to go. Like, I don't know. So she like went in the lobby and she just told that people need to start praying because this is serious. And y'all was chilling. They was chilling. But people deal with stuff a different way. I guess they ain't know what to do because they like, what the heck, Jada? Like, this is like, I've been 100% healthy up until this happened. So when she said when they finished praying, they came back in my room and I woke up, like, I was up at that time. And I think I asked for my glasses because I couldn't see. And it's so crazy because I was so calm that whole time. Like, I was just calm. Like, I was aware that I had a tube down my throat. Or was I aware? I think I was aware I had a tube down my throat, but like, I didn't panic or anything. Like, I was like, okay. And I asked for my glasses so I can see like what was going on. And I believe I was intubated that time, I think 6 days, like a week. I know it was the time they took the tube out, but then I started having trouble breathing again, so they put the tube back in. So after all that happened, you had to stay in the hospital for a while once you take the tube out, just to make sure you're stable. When they did all these tests, they didn't test with something they should have tested because it's so rare. But either way, I went home. The symptoms stopped for probably like a week or two. Then did I go back to school? I can't remember if I went back to school that time. I don't think no. Did I go back to school? I think I did go back to school. I don't know, but oh, I forgot to tell y'all. Oh my gosh, I've never shared this with anybody, but like before the wisdom teeth incident, I was in my English class, and it was my turn to read. And then I started reading, and I sound like this when I started reading. But as I kept reading, like, my mouth got weak. So, like, my reading, this how it sounded when I was reading. Like, it sounded like this. And that's not how I talk. But, like, I was reading, but, like, I didn't want to stop. And I just, like, I don't want to cry. I felt the tears coming. I felt like I heard people laughing. And people was looking at me like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I knew my eyes was watering. But I'm like, I'm not about to cry in none of these girls, because I don't know none of these girls, and I'm not about to cry in class, like, no. And then one of the girls, she was like, are you sick? And I was just like, yeah. But like, I did not know what was wrong with me at all, and I never told anybody that, but that's probably why I don't like to talk now, because like, I'm so scared that it's gonna happen again. But back to the story. Came home from the hospital. I remember my cousin asking somebody, like, was it an April Fool's joke? Because it just happened to be April 1st when I had to go to the hospital the first time. But I came home. The symptoms kind of stopped, but then they started again. Like, I started having trouble swallowing. My smile was off again and all of that. So the first lady at my old church that my mom was close to, she told her to take me back to the hospital and get me tested for myasthenia gravis, because I think she do something in medicine. I don't know. So this is so weird because we straight went to the emergency room. Like, my mom was like, I want her to get tested for myasthenia gravis. Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to do that. Like, I think you're supposed to go see your primary doctor and be like, this is what's going on. Like, well, we straight went to the emergency room, and then they admitted me, and then one of the tests they do is I think a blood test. So they did that, and another test that they did, it's like your muscles. So they pretty much electrocute you. Like, let's just be honest. They shocked the muscles in my legs, and I think it was my arms too. And they did it. It was so painful. It was so painful. They did it over and over again because they wanted to test the strength of my muscles and to see if my muscles got weaker over time. And I think one of the things too, where they like stick a needle in, and like I just know it was painful a little bit. But then the test came back that I had myasthenia gravis, so we knew what was wrong with me. We knew what was going on. We knew why I didn't respond to the anesthesia, because people with myasthenia are not supposed to be put under anesthesia. Put under with anesthesia. I think that's when I started the IVIG. I did like a week. I did like 1 week in the hospital with IVIG. I believe that's what it was. Before I could see like a neurologist. And the first day of my IVIG, I think I had I started to get a rash. And then the second day I had a migraine. To the point where I didn't eat at all. And they didn't give me like the medicine for the migraine until like the end of the day. So that whole day I was in pain. And I shared a room with this one girl. And she was just like, "Are you okay?" And I'm just like, "No." But moving on, I came home from the hospital. We knew what was wrong with me. I started on medications for my myasthenia gravis. I'll get into that in another video. So then I don't think I ever finished school. I don't think I ever went back after that, because by that time it was hot in school and school ain't had no air. So my doctor was just like, she can't go to school right now because she already sick and it's just too much. It is too much. So I think I stayed home like the rest of that year. And then my baby cousin sneezed on me, and then I caught a cold. And so I caught a cold, and we was in the house, and me and Tiara was arguing about something, and I'm like, my mom calling the hospital to see what kind of medicine I could take, because I like truly did not feel good. Like, I just felt so sick, and I just want to take some cough medicine. But she wasn't sure, so she had to call. It was like, Jada, she called down the emergency room to the on-call neurologist and was just like, my daughter has myasthenia gravis. She has a cold. What kind of medicine can I give her? And they're like, don't give her any. Bring her down to the emergency room right now. So we go down to the emergency room, and from what I can remember, I wasn't in the room long because I had to go back to the ICU because it was hard for me to breathe again. So they had to intubate me again. And this time, that time was the longest I've ever been on life support. And one time, I remember that while I was on the life support, I still couldn't breathe. And the thing was on 100%, so the machine was breathing for me the whole time. That 100%, it wasn't me at all. I still couldn't breathe. So I think it's like the pulmonary people. I don't know his name. I'm not gonna say his name, but they had to suction my breathing tube because I had like mucus in the tube, and that's why like the machine wasn't even helping. So they had to they push it in. I think they pushed the air in, and it felt, oh my gosh, it hurt so bad because it's like, it feels like somebody is suffocating you. Like, it's like that. It hurts so bad, and then they like pull it out, and like all the mucus just come out. And the tube was in my mouth, and like sometimes people get the tube in their throat, but mine was just in my mouth the whole time. So this was the longest time I've ever been on the life support. Both of my lungs ended up collapsing, but at different times. Like, it was the right lung, then that one was fine, then it was the left lung, that one was fine, then it was the right lung again, stuff like that. And then I got pneumonia in my lungs. This time was also the time that I actually pulled my breathing tube out. This is crazy. This is so crazy. I pulled my tube out because I heard my grandmother was coming in my room, and I didn't want her to see me like that. And so once I heard that she was coming in, I pulled the tube out, and my dad said he like pushed her chair out so she wouldn't see it because they didn't know what would happen next. Like all the machines start going off, and I'm just sitting. My dad said I was sitting there like what, looking around like what, because I wasn't aware. Like I knew I pulled my tube out, but I wasn't like fully aware of you just pull your breathing tube out like out of your throat. I scratched my voice box and everything. Like it was a mess. But then and every time I was intubated, it's so weird because when people associate being put on life support, I think they like connected with somebody being in a coma or somebody not being alert. But like I was alert. Like obviously I was like in and out when they would give me pain medicine or when they would give me medication. I would be in and out, but I was up. Like I was playing the Wii, and I was on life support, but I was playing the Wii, or like I would be up coloring or watching TV, and the doctors would go by and be looking at me like, because I had this tube down my throat in the machine, and that is crazy. But yeah, so I pulled my tube out, and then I was breathing on my own, so they didn't put it back in right away. They like tried to see like if I was okay enough to breathe on my own, and I think that only lasted for like a little bit because I couldn't breathe again. So I had to put a tube back in, and then I had to do that whole thing over about my lungs collapsing and all of that. And I don't even know why my lungs collapsed. They just collapsed. Like I don't know the reason as to why it happened. So then when I woke up, it was the day for me to get the tube taken out. And the way they do it, they do like a countdown. Because first for me, I was on 1% on the breathing machine, so the machine was completely breathing for me. So then as the days go on, they like weaned the machine down, and so till it got to the point where like the machine would only be breathing 20% for me, and I was doing the 80%. They would take the tube out because I was breathing on my own, and they would do the countdown, or they'd be like, "We'll see how your numbers are. You might get the tube taken out in the morning," and it would be like such an exciting thing for me because I was so ready for the tube to be taken out. So when they took the tube out, you know, I was breathing on my own, but then I wanted to go sit in I wanted to go sit in a chair, not the bed. So I went to stand up, and my foot was swollen. Like my foot was fat. Like my left foot was just fat, and I couldn't feel it at all. And we sat down. I sat down in the chair, and I'm just looking at my foot, and I'm just I'm showing them like something's wrong with my foot. So I get put back in the bed, and then they did all these tests, and they was just like, you have a compressed nerve in your left foot, in your left leg, and so I couldn't walk at all. I couldn't walk. So after that, like I don't remember if they like gave me medicine or what, but the swelling went down, and then this pain came, and it's like nerve. Like I guess your nerves are trying to like rehabilitate, so it's like somebody constantly stabbing you, like, or you getting poked with a needle constantly. So that pain came. That pain, it was so bad. Like I cried night and day. That pain was so bad, and I couldn't walk at all. So that by that time they put me on a regular floor. And basically, I couldn't leave until I walked. Like, that's just what they said. Like, you can't leave until you walk. And I'm just like, are you serious? Like, I'm like, no, I'm going to walk. I'm going to walk. Because I'm not about to stay in this hospital. I'm not about to do that. Like, it was summertime, too. And most of the summer was already gone because I was in the hospital. And I think I was working. I worked at the, I did youth work at that time, too. That same time I got sick. So I'm just like, I've just been out of work. Like that's the thing. I was thinking, I'm just like, I need to walk. Like I've been walking all my life. You're not gonna tell me that I can't walk. Like what? You really talking crazy now?